And we up. What to do, y'all? It's your boy Marcel P. Black, aka the Rain God, as you see my name on the screen. It's been a long time, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank you to you two guys for being understanding. Had some family issues, had to go back to Oklahoma, that it kind of took me a little time to shake back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I know we was getting someone consistent and I kind of threw off the flow, but definitely had to come back and talk ball, man. It's been, I promise you, like between I would say since the pandemic, like of course it's been a bunch of terrible stuff, but like I don't think I've been this excited about what's going on in the sports league in a long time. Between the bubble last year, between this season, between the trades, you know what I'm saying, between the G League bubble, which we're gonna talk about a little bit later, it's just been like I don't know, it's just been a lot of fun. So even though we was gone for a little bit, you know what I'm saying, I'm happy to be back and talk ball. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to HB. And yeah, man, basketball BS, we back. Coop may or may not come. I don't know. If he does, you gonna talk about the Pelicans. If not, you know what I mean? We're gonna do what we gotta do.
It is what it is either way, but good to have you back, brother. Good to have you
Appreciate it,
back.
man. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
HB, I
absolutely.
like the SU t-shirt, man.
Hey, you know it, man. Yeah, man. Shelly, man, it's good to have you back. I'm glad you and the family doing okay, man. And like, man, life happens, man. And anytime you take a break, man, we definitely understand it, man. But like you said, man, with all that said, man, we back to talk ball. So let's get into it.
So before we get started, you know what I'm saying? I try to make sure I got one piece of my beloved apparel on every time. So I got a lot of these, right? And so what happened was I had my KD jersey, he left. I had my PG jersey, he left. I got my Rush jersey, he left. And so I got an SGA jersey. I think SGA will be with us for a second. But I wanted to make sure that I'll never have another player leave my beloved again. So I got this. Boom. All right. So I look at you like, all right, what number is it? Number 44.
44.
Who was number 44? Ah,
Yeah.
never leaving, baby. From the cradle to the grave, we out here. Thunder up for life. So yeah, I had to do that. So now I had to do that before I put my you know what I'm saying, put my background up. You know what I'm saying? We'd have had Poku, we'd have had Shay, we'd have had the God Presty up, you know what I'm saying? This time
Man,
I'm gonna put
Poku
my
ain't
boy
going
up.
nowhere. Poku ain't going nowhere, baby. Y'all,
He'll
y'all
go
got him. Y'all got life.
I got my dog Jaime. My dog Jaime been hooping though. So I had to get my boy Jaime
Oh
up
yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to get a Dort jersey, but we still on this weird rookie scale. So I gotta wait too because the thing about it is Dort's stock is really rising. You know what I'm saying?
I was
Because
we're gonna talk about that. His stock, his trade stock is rising, dude.
so
And
so so
especially
so,
in the
so
league
they
where
gon' they gon'
everybody's
mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, everybody's looking for 3 and D guys, and he's like one of the best up and coming 3 and D guys there because he had the D. Now he got a little bit of the three. So like, man, yeah. I bet that phone ringing. I bet Sam's
the,
phone
the,
ringing.
the only thing about it is so right now he's playing because because last year they had CP3 on the point and then they had Shea at the two. No, they had CP3 at the point and they had Dort at the two.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Then they had Shea at the three. And so they're trying to get now that CP3 is gone, they're trying to get Shea on the ball as much as possible, right? So he's
Right,
playing the two, but he's pretty much like he's like off the ball point at this point. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
so, but what this does is it's putting Dort at the three. You know what I'm saying? And so he's guarding, and so the only thing that kind of works against Dort, he's 6'3", because
Yeah.
he's strong as
Oh wow.
anybody. He's strong. He's only 6'3". He's only 6'3". Yep,
That's it.
same. He the same height as CP3, but he built like a tank. You know what I'm saying?
True.
He's like one of the widest people on the team. You know what I'm saying? And so that might be the only thing that kind of holds him back. Whoever picks him up, they got to make sure they get him at a solid two, because
Right.
small forwards are 6'10" now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that kind of holds him back or whatever. But I mean, the best thing that could happen to him was that he hit that 30 in the playoffs and shut Harden down. Like you know what I'm saying? And he's been extremely consistent as a defender. And he was at one point at the beginning of the season, he was shooting 44% from the three. Now he's kind of averaged that at about 34%, which is
Yeah.
great compared to what we've had. Andre Robertson, and
Yeah.
we haven't had shooters on the wings since KD left. And even then, KD was only shooting on the wing. So well, we of course we had we had Paul George or whatever. But but yeah, so like I said, I want to get a Dort jersey, but there's a chance that somebody might swoop him up like a contender, like because he's young, you know what I'm saying, he's strong, he's a defender, especially like the teams like the Lakers, because a lot of those guys are a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been a lot of rumors that were saying that he would fit good on a team like the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Because because Andre Iguodala can't, he out there just a bag of bones. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, and the price for him would essentially be like an expiring and a pick.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Something that can get off the books and some more draft capital. So yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting to watch.
And look, hey, I take him on my team. I take him on my team because I'm looking at some of our averages, man. How me and you were joking off air, Marcel, and I say, your boy Poku, he just getting a bunch of cardio in the G League. Somehow, guy playing with Brun look like they just getting cardio, playing 20 minutes a night, averaging 4 points. You getting wide open looks playing off of Brun, and you averaging 4 points a night.
Yeah.
You ain't doing your job. We got boys on our team getting straight cardio action. They give me some of those minutes while AD out.
Are you playing? Well, look, since you said my dog Poku, I got to show my boys some love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So Poku, they're trying to get my dog some experience because he out here playing hard, but he ain't really getting no buckets. You know what I'm saying? In the NBA, so they put him in the G League bubble. And so my dog out here getting some plays. I just want to show a couple of videos of some highlights, you know what I'm saying, of him in the G League, and because that's where we are now. We looking at G League highlights because we are
I
taking.
love this dude.
They do that. Pokashevsky to Brown. They pull.
Hold on.
Here comes Ty Jerome.
Fast.
Oh,
Here comes Ty Jerome.
so basically, you got a lucky seed,
Oh my
and
goodness!
they're calling it the highlight.
Wait, hold up. There's more. Hold up now. Hold up. We ain't done. We ain't over. What else they got here? What else they show my dog here? He got another. I guess he had another good pass. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't hitting no shots. So
Pokashevsky behind the back. A special delivery to Moses Brown.
This is what the future of the Oklahoma City Thunder could look at. 7-foot, 19-year-old Pokashevsky.
all right. Okay. Hold up. We got another.
What position does he play?
He
He about to be the backup point guard. He's gonna be our backup point guard in the future.
And so here's
It
another
look
one.
like they got him Allen the rock out there.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten a rebound all season. He can block a shot, but I don't think he's been past the free throw line. Honestly. All right, so then we got this right here. This was kind of mean too.
Deflected into the backcourt and picked up by Reeves. Throwing to the rim, and that's disrupted. Pokushevsky around his back and in.
Okay, Poku.
Deflected into the backcourt and picked up by Reeves. Throwing to the rim, and that's disrupted. Pokushevsky.
That's my dog. You know what I mean? My
So
dog.
wait, Poku think he think he is 7 foot Jason Williams.
I don't know. I don't know, man. He might be like Magic out there, man. You never know, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man. I think so. I think we're finally figuring out tanking, and I think we're tanking in the best way possible because our guys are competing, and like they're competing and they're losing, but they're fighting every single night, and they're coming together as a team, and they're even though they're losing, they're trying their hardest to not become losers, and they're trying their hardest to like not pick up that losing mentality. Like, a lot of people are praising Dagno, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a young guy, he's a players coach. He coached for the Blue for years, he's been in the organization or whatever. And I think he's our coach for the future, you know what I'm saying? Like Shea loves him, Dort loves him, you know what I'm saying? Even the veterans speak highly of Dagno. And I really watched this joint to play. It sucks that we ain't got. I don't think we've had. At least I haven't seen any national games this year for the Thunder. None. And it's like they play so hard. Now when it's ugly, it's ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not get it twisted. But they compete with everybody.
Yeah, take it from a Bulls fan. I know. When it's ugly, it's
You know,
ugly.
they've taken they took the Lakers, you know, back to back overtime.
Low T, right?
Yeah.
Both games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they playing hard, man. And you know, shout out to my dog Jaime was 1 foot out the league, and now he's pretty much got him another contract. You know what I'm saying, with the way he's playing. It's funny because at this point, Jaime's the longest tenured OKC Thunder player now.
Wow.
He's been there
Wow.
the longest, and he's only been there 3 years. So you talk about team turnover, bro. And yeah, so I put this in the group the other day, but as of right now, we're projected for the number 3, the number 4, and the number 9 pick, and we still got, and we got several second rounders, and I want to say we still got a pick like up in the 20s. So you never know what's about to happen, and I'm here for all of them.
So let me ask you this, and one thing I do want to point out, you're absolutely right. You guys are tanking the right way. Because the thing about it is that, like, what ends up happening in a lot of these tanking situations is that, yeah, the objective is to lose, but at the same time, with that comes like bad habits. Like the young guys, they develop bad habits. You know, the coaching becomes ineffective after a while, and it just becomes a situation by where, yeah, you know, we're trying to save you guys, but a lot of these guys end up becoming bad pros. That's not the situation in OKC, and it's evident with their young guys. And to build upon that, so since you're essentially playing all young guys right now, right? And your vets, you got 2 of your main vets hurt and Hill and Horford. So I guess the thing is, like, now that you've kind of committed to the tank, when those guys come back, like, how aggressively is Presti going to be about kind of trying to shop those guys ahead of the trade deadline?
I think Hill is on an expiry. You know what I'm saying? So I would, and Hill is playing. He's playing damn good. Like, I think there's a lot of teams that could use. I think there's a lot of teams that are, and, you know, Horford's doing his thing too. But I think it's a lot of teams that could use like a veteran point guard who can play on and off the ball, a great locker room guy. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I think Hill might be gone before the trade deadline. And I wouldn't be surprised if we ended the season with Horford. And for the simple fact that I think that big men just aren't really in need right now. You know what I'm saying? I think like,
because of his skill too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, he's been hurt, and you know what I'm saying, he's a little bit older. And you know, he's been playing good. It's not getting twisted, but I don't think a tweener big guy who's not necessarily stretched. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that I mean, he's perfect for us because we need these older veterans. You know, he's helping develop Muscala's been balling this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Muscala is somebody that, like, could get a lot of tick elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But they purposely, like, limiting his minutes because that motherfucker playing too good. You know what I'm saying? Baisley's, Horford's been there, you know, mentoring Baisley as well. So he's going to serve his purpose. Like, look, I got to give props, and I got to give props to the organization, man. Like, I mean, Shea would probably be all-star reserve if we was like a game or 2 over 500, because like he's playing really, really good this year. And so like I kind of feel bad for Shea because we're tanking, but he's having a really, really good year. But he's not going to get that all-star nod because of our record. But the thing about the Thunder, and I think it's the reason why, you know, everybody except for Kate, well, not everybody, but like a lot of people, when they leave the Thunder, they talk about the thing they love about the organization is the transparency, right? And so clearly, like, Shea is in line. He's not, even though they're tanking, he's still playing as hard as he possibly can, and he understands what's going on, right? He's a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I think, you know, so as a fan, you know, like, of course you want your team to win, but you got Cade Cunningham, you got Jalen Green, you got Kamunga, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got some hitters out there. So, you know, if we can get an opportunity to get that, or even like any type of assets or any type of bigger players we can get come to OKC, everything is welcome. So, you know, of course, now I'll be watching them. Like, honestly, I really, really watch this to make sure they keep the game tight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they,
you know,
for the most part,
who did we beat the other night? We beat Cleveland. No. We beat the Bucks a couple weeks back. You know what I'm saying? We beat the Bucks or whatever. My boy Kenny Hustle got off. You know what I'm saying? Did I tell you that? I told y'all that my cousin cut Kendrick Williams' hair. We was talking. We was making fun of his South Dallas said. My cousin is his barber in Oklahoma City, so I can't slander him no more because that's my kid. But yeah, man. But so I don't know. Like I said, I think Hill will be gone. I think Horford will be there. But you never know with Preston, man. You never know. You never know what he's gonna do.
If he can find a buyer for Horford, he'll definitely take it. But it's just that deal is just that's a lot to take on. Either for him to either like go to another team that's on the come up that's gonna where his role is gonna be essentially what it is in OKC, and I don't see anybody doing that. And the contender's not gonna take on that contract just for a piece.
Now there was a rumor, this is just conjecture, that they gonna try to bring Blake home. Because you can move Blake's contract in the asset, you know what I'm saying? But we don't really need that. We don't really, it would be cool for he's from Oklahoma City, you know what I'm saying? But but with that said, they already giving what's that rookie name? Is it Sadiq Bey? Is he a big? Sadiq Bey.
What's his name?
Sadiq Bey, yeah.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much give him the keys to the paint and Jeremy Grant. So they just you know what? We're going with the youth movement. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You never know with Sam Preston, man. You don't know what he got. You don't know what he got, up his sleeve.
Hey, man, do Trevor Ariza get any minutes with y'all?
Trevor Ariza never even came to Oklahoma City. He never even.
So he never showed up.
Trevor Ariza, huh?
Oh no, I thought Jason. I thought you were being funny, bro.
No, for real.
He straight up pulled Andre Iguodala on Memphis, like he did on Memphis. Yeah.
No, because I really was looking at y'all roster, looking at y'all cap numbers, because we were talking about Horford contract, and I saw Trevor Ariza name, and I was like, do he get minutes? He hurt? What? Because I don't ever remember seeing him on a highlight or anything this year for y'all. But yeah, you're right. He didn't show up.
Well, you know what? That's exactly look. Iggy was a Finals MVP. Iggy caught a couple of rings. Iggy played with Iverson. Iggy did some things. Iggy can, even though I didn't like it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's still like a champion. Come on,
yeah.
Finals MVP.
Ariza got him a ring a couple years back with Kobe, but still, man, you're not that. You don't get to hold your nuts like that, brother.
You ain't that dude. Yeah.
No, you're not that. You're not that. All right, so look, Lakers and Bulls. Where we going next?
HB, what you got, man?
Shot-town.
Man. Oh man. So man. So I tell you what, I'm feeling kind of upbeat. My young boys are in a nice place, which means that we're in the playoff hunt. But one thing I want to talk about, and I had to catch Sally before we got on. It's like, man, even though we took an L Friday night, let's see some of those highlights from the Philly game. Because Philly's rolling right now. Embiid, man, JoJo hit us for a high 45 and 15. But the thing about it, our boys played really hard. And one thing I want to point out is that they played hard. They kept their composure, which is one of the most important things I saw, especially with our youth. But we're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. We went 2 for 1,000 that night, and we still kept the game close. We rotated. We actually rotated pretty well on defense. I wanted to complain. I always want to complain about our defense. Now, one caveat is Philadelphia played a much slower game because Ben was out. Because I imagine if Ben was in, they'd run a little bit more, and it may have been a little bit ugly. But I mean, just playing straight up, man. I mean, Zach acted a fool, bro. I know we're a fringe playoff team, but and part of it is me being a homer, but I'll be slick mad if Zach don't get an All-Star night. I mean, Bud is averaging 29 on 51% shooting and 43 from three.
What is this a contract year for him, or is he expiring? Or
I think we have him under control, man. Bud is just balling. I mean, I think he's just tired of disrespect.
You know what? I asked because I've heard just on Bleacher Report, I've seen his name come up in rumor trade rumors. I'm just like, well, it may be because he's balling and a contender might use him or need him or whatever. But I thought maybe he was on the expiring because I'm like, why would the Bulls trade him if he hooping like this? But at the same time, y'all general management been kind of crazy for a while, so you never know.
Well, our general manager is actually getting better because, like I said, we're done with guard packs. We got Buddy from Denver, who like he's gonna help us a lot, like with international scouting. He's the guy that spotted Jokic and some of those other guys. And like I said, and one thing I will say, and I meant to like shoot it in the group the other night while I was watching the game. I want to thank you again for Billy D because just from last year to this year, like I said, in wins and losses, is not showing as much. But this is a team that is much more organized, and you can actually see that these guys have an actual role. Like they'll blow assignments, they'll take dumb shots sometimes. I mean, that's a function of youth. Much like with the Thunder, like youth is going to be youth. But the thing about it is, and I say it all the time, it's kind of a cliche, but like our guys have talent. They just need to learn how to play basketball. Our guys are learning how to play basketball. Kobe White is learning how to play basketball. Patrick Williams, our rookie, learning how to play basketball. I've been real low on Wendell Carter for a while. He's starting like these are guys that are really learning the game on a professional level. And like I said, the one thing that I do like is that a lot of our veterans are coming off the bench. I mean, like, look, man, shout out, man, BR stand up. Garrett Temple's giving us really good minutes. You know what I'm saying? Thaddeus Young is getting a lot of buzz around the league, and actually, it's kind of made himself kind of a hot trade commodity as well.
I was about to ask you. I was looking. I was like, is that Thaddeus Young out there? Where'd he come from?
Yeah, man. Thad Young. We got Tomas Satoransky back. Big 6'7" guard that can kind of play both positions. He can guard multiple positions. I mean, even Denzel Valentine, who I forgot he was on the team. You know what I'm saying? He's been out and hurt so long, but like, I'm starting to like when I look at the games, like I said, we'll win some, we'll lose some, and like I said, the Philadelphia game was clearly an example of like we're on paper we're outmatched. We're undermanned even with them sitting Ben Simmons, but we played really hard. I mean, really freaking hard, and like I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it. And like I said, one thing that I will say, and this is just speaking to the league as a whole, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we kind of go over some of the guys that are up for trades and buyouts. But with the trade market being as frigid as it may be, just because of the expansion of the playoffs, so like whereas in a normal year we might be a little bit more willing to like walk away from some of these guys, we're in a hunt. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see that since we're retaining a lot of these guys and we are kind of fringish on the playoff end. Just kind of like how those guys are going to continue to grow. I mean, if they keep going, I mean, I think we can like hop up to 7 to 8. Like because a lot of it is there. Like I said, the transition defense is still kind of a thing for us. But the thing about it, like we're making smart plays. Some of our young guys are starting to participate on help defense. They're making their assignments. I mean, like I said, besides the youthful stuff, at least we have a lot of guys that, I mean, for the lack of a better word, they don't suck. And they don't suck. Like like they're learning how to play the professional game and they don't suck. And yeah, if you have enough of those guys, I mean, you can make a playoff team out
of it. Let's go to the West Coast. I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh no, well, and talking about trades, just one more thing. So the one thing that I am looking at, if we're gonna move off from everybody is there's a whole bunch of Levine talk. But the way we're playing, I really don't see it. The one person I see we can move away from, and hopefully we may be able to get some answers for, is Lauri Markin. I love Lauri, but between the health and basically like, I guess him not gelling with his team enough to like actually fit like how everybody else has played all year, so they're trying to fit in with the ability system. He's kind of been the odd man out, and it's kind of unfair. You can't control injuries, but the thing about it is that like when he's playing, the talent, I mean, hell, he's averaging 20 points a game on 40% from three. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just him being as tall as he is, he's nabbing you 6 rebounds. So he's appealing. But he's the one guy that like when he comes back, like not that it will hurt chemistry, but it might just be easier to just kind of like, hey, give him a couple of games to like show the league he got it, get a little bit of interest, and just kind of move off from him and see what we can get.
Who do you see him being a fit with?
Big shooter. As far as contenders, I kind of, I like him on Milwaukee. I kind of like him. big shooter, maybe like secondary rebounder. Honestly, and I think a lot of people will say, well, hey, they have Bobby Portis, and Portis is actually having a good year. But the thing is, Lauri's younger, he's cheaper, and like I said, I feel like in a system he'll be a better defender, and he's a better rebounder. So I kind of see it there because that's the thing with Milwaukee, they still need another scorer, dude. They need like a legit third scorer. And my thing is that like you throw him in like a pick and roll with like Drew Holiday, like they can make some things happen. Like I kind of like him there. On let's see elsewhere. I don't know. Okay, easy answer because this man makes everything work. I put him on Spurs. But the thing about it, like logically speaking, though, they're a team with LaMarcus Aldridge out. They have Eubanks and they have Pirtle, but like to have like maybe like a stretch four to kind of like stretch stretch the floor out a little bit more and maybe kind of like encourage them to shoot more threes because the thing about it, San Antonio isn't a bad 3-point shooting team, but they just don't shoot a lot of threes. So maybe add another shooter, somebody that can kind of like spread the floor out. That can actually help, like DeMar and DeJounte and Derek White cruise lane a little bit more. I think that would be a good fit as well.
So is Lauri like a new or younger Gallo?
Yeah, you know what? Like, kind of. Gallo's got a bit of a nasty streak. Like Lauri's kind of timid. So like if Lauri if he can stay healthy long enough to kind of toughen up and get some bumps and bruises that don't injure him, I think he could be a Gallo type. But like, and I'm not trying to be shitty, but no, for real, like I see a lot of Gallo in him, but like I said, Gallo lower that shoulder a little bit, he'll throw a bow, like Gallo will get at you a little bit.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. The Italian stallion ain't playing over there.
No, you just called that man soft in a real polite way.
I mean, I'm still talking about my team. He's still on the team, so I can't say him too much.
Where's Lauri? He German?
Sweden.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Oh, come on, man.
It's in his name. He's Swedish.
It's in his name, Lauri.
Sweden slander. All right, let's go to the West Coast, man. Let's go to the West Coast. What you got, JB?
Oh, man, I'm looking at the standings right now. We are second behind Utah, who just came out a tear. I think they lost to the Clippers the other night, Saturday. We sitting at 22-9. Of course, the biggest story out of LA right now is brittle brow Anthony Davis gonna be off about a month with what they're calling a calf strain, and that worries me because that's what, if I remember correct, when he got hurt against Houston in the playoff, it was a calf strain, and then he came back a few weeks later and actually tore his Achilles. AD is supposed to be the future of LA, so I don't think he needs to be in our present plans for, like they say, at least a month. Hopefully, with what we got, I mean, we're going to try and hold the fort. I think we're in second. Like I say, we're in the number 2 spot right now, hopefully. Bron and the guys can keep us floating around no lower than the 4th spot in the West, because the West is going to be tough. I mean, I don't think we get out of the West without a healthy AD playing like he was in the bubble, because when the playoff come, Bron ain't going to be enough. Yeah. I will like to say I like what we've been getting out of Schroeder, but he been missing a few games because of COVID safety protocols. Montrez is still doing Montrez things. Kuzma has actually been a lot better this year. He's looking like an actual NBA player who knows his role. He's playing defense, rebounding, blocking a few shots. He's actually looking like more than just a good scorer on a bad team. But all that said, we don't play for playoff appearances in LA. The goal is to win a championship every year. And without a healthy, locked and loaded roster, which includes Bron and AD playing like the top, not top 10 guy, but the top 5 guy, he played like in a bubble playoff, and we won't win it. And I hate to say it, but that's just the bottom line. We won't have enough because AD is healthy. So I was very, very optimistic going into this season with all the changes in the roster additions, but right now, everything just depends on what happens with Anthony Davis.
Um, and I was gonna ask this later or whatever, but do but I guess whatever. What do you think is the quickest fix to make sure y'all stay afloat while he hurts? Because when I googled Boogie Cousins earlier, I saw James Worthy. I saw a lot of people saying that they think that the Lakers should sign Boogie on a couple 10 days or something. So what do you think
I
about that?
mean, his size would help because we do actually need another legit scorer besides LeBron and someone that can actually touch the ball in the post, give us some scoring, stabilize the offense when Brian sits down. Because the last 10 games, I'm looking at it, LeBron is playing 37 minutes a game. That's not a whole lot, but that's a lot for a guy at age 36. And what they like to say all the time, HB, he's 36 in his 16th year, whatever it is, whatever the announcers love to say every game. But that's a lot of wear and tear on his body. And the thing is to keep him fresh. So when playoff time does come around, he's ready to take on the extra load. But I think really we do need I wouldn't mind taking a fly on Boogie, see what he got. I mean, last time I saw Boogie jump, he probably had like a 20-inch vertical. He wasn't getting very high off the ground, but if he can still score and give us some solid minutes, it would help. Need guys like Kuzma, KCP, and Schroeder to, step it up a bit because I'm looking at KCP. He's not having a great year. I expected a little more from him coming off how well he played in the finals, but he just looking average. He's looking like an average KCP. But yeah, I saw Stephen A saying it's not unfair for the Lakers to expect more from LeBron with AD out, but what more can he give you at this point? He leads the team in scoring, probably assists, rebounds, everything when AD isn't in the game. So I don't think we should require LeBron to go superhuman at this point in his career, at this point in the season.
Right.
I don't think he should take it off chill mode, like he liked to say, until a month before the playoffs, then ramp it up. But right now, I think we just kind of need to stay afloat. If we can stay in that top 4 range, we'll be okay once the playoffs come around.
So how do you feel about the play of Montrezl Harrell? How you feel about that? Like you expect more of him, less? What you think?
He's doing what he can do. I mean, he's a junkyard dog, scrappy defensive player. I don't expect Montrezl to come out and give us 20 and 10 a night. He's going to do what he does. He's going to play good off the bench, give us a good solid minutes off the bench, but I don't expect he's doing exactly what he's always done. I don't expect more from him because he's been the player he is. HB, you look like you got something to say about Aaron.
Well, so I feel like as a whole he's kind of a wash. Because I mean he's giving you the numbers look good. 13 points. I mean he's your 4th leading scorer. Good defensive rebounder. But my thing is that like I kind of feel like his reputation on the defensive end is a little overblown, man. Because I feel like he gives up for every bucket he gets, he gives one up, dude. Like I mean, and I don't know like if it's him missing assignments or just a lack of situational awareness or him kind of like trying to get used to the scheme. I mean, but we're over a third of the way in the season. I mean, so it's not positioning. I mean, I just can't really put my hand on it. And the thing is, like he has been a better defender, but honestly, I think since like even when he was with the Clippers, I kind of feel like that whole reputation of him being like a rim protector was a little bit overblown because one, he's undersized, and two, I think
he's too smart.
It's more athleticism than anything. You know what I'm saying? He kind of like I don't know, like he kind of reminds me of like a rich man's Kenneth Faried in a way. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit more polished on the offensive end, which isn't a knock, because like I said, when he on offense, when he's near the bucket, I mean, when he's near the basket, you're getting the bucket out. But it's just that like I end up feeling like it comes out to be a wash because even like I was looking at the Miami game Saturday night and I was kind of paying attention to his minutes on the floor, and it was like, oh, he got him one, oh, he dunked on somebody, and it's like, oh, okay, he just fell asleep and gave up easy layup to Kelly Olynyk. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I think, and I'm glad you talked about Kuz because like I'm big on Kuz this year, but I kind of feel that like after like Braun, AD, Denis, and Kuz, they're clear pluses. Guys that give you major minutes that are clear pluses. I kind of feel like everybody else just kind of evens out. You don't have a lot of guys that are minuses, which is good. But the thing about it is that like a few pluses, and a bunch of like even out guys. I mean, it's kind of it's nothing you want to kind of like go into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my question to you is, outside of Boogie, do you see you guys making like another move or like just something to kind of help fortify the roster? Because like I said, it's hard to put your finger on it because Caruso hasn't been trash. THT hasn't been trash. Mark, I'm gonna be respectful. Wesley
he
hasn't
been in the rotation at the moment.
Right, exactly.
He wasn't even in the rotation.
But like I guess my thing is that like with all these guys kind of like playing like even ball, like is there gonna be like a home run swing for like a guy that can? I mean, even if it's just from an energy standpoint, or one more body to kind of like guard on the perimeter, like. Do you see you guys making like a non-big transaction to help fortify the roster?
Being honest, I don't know how we would make that move because we traded all our really valuable assets to get AD.
Right.
We gave up, I think, 3 first-round picks for AD, something like that. So, and if you look at our roster, Montrez, no. KCP, no. Wes Matthews, no. Caruso, no. I mean, we don't have any trade assets unless we are able to find someone on the buyout market or somebody takes us, gives something for a second round pick, but we don't really have assets. So looking at, to me, what we have is what we're gonna have. And so we just gonna need everybody to buckle in and find their role and succeed and be more successful in their role. Like I said, we can't just have guys out there getting cardio playing off of LeBron. If you playing off of LeBron, you getting 5 to 10 good open looks a game. You can't get double digits for us while AD out. You're getting more minutes. You're getting more opportunities. So got to just step it up a little bit. And like I say, it can't always just be LeBron. Everybody else got to make their presence felt. And only person I've seen do that this year that's like brought that game to a different level has been Kuz. Because like you say, and with Trez what, 6'7", 6'8"? Trying to play center.
Yeah, they list him at 6'7". No, that's a lie.
He getting.
I don't know how Trez ain't I don't know how Trez ain't an HBCU player. He played like an HBCU player. He went to Louisville, but he played HBCU basketball. Yeah, in the NBA.
6'7", 240. You're right. God,
yeah, man, we need to. I was listening to. Oh man, I was listening to the Real Ones podcast earlier today, getting ready for our podcast, just seeing what everybody else was thinking about the league. And a young lady, she jumped on and she was like, she was mad about AD not being healthy or whatever. She was like, can we just undo the AD trade and get back all our other players back? Because we could kind of use them right now. She said, we got Caruso playing 20 minutes a game, giving us 4 points, and I go watch the Pelicans. And Josh Hart coming off the bench for them, giving them 10, 15 a night, grabbing 17 rebounds one game, playing hard, him and Lonzo playing defense 94 feet, and we got guys just giving cardio for us. She's like, we could just undo that because it ain't like AD gonna play for us for the next 3 months. She was hot.
Dang. So you said that the Lakers are number 2 in the West, right?
Yeah, right now we're in the 2 spot.
So let's look at who's number 1. Hold up. Dang it, bro. That transition would be crazy if I was ready. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I messed up my own transition. I messed up my own transition, man. Oh, I feel so stupid. What game is this? Why is this doing this? Hold up, man.
Don't worry, he's a professional, people. He got it coming.
Hell yeah.
Everybody boo Marcel. Boo Marcel. I blew it. Okay. There we go.
Hey.
Conley will.
So
if I'd have had it ready, that'd have been crazy. Anyways. The Jazz. HBC, you want to talk about the Jazz? Let's talk some Jazz.
Yeah. So I mean, all right. So if we have any of our longtime listeners here, man, like y'all know that the Jazz has always kind of been my pet team. They've been near and dear to my heart. So it kind of fills me with pride to see that all of my support is starting to kind of like pay off a little bit. But one thing about it is like, I mean, this is a really, really good and well-rounded team. And I get it, if you don't have league pass, like you don't really catch them that much and all of that stuff. But I mean, and to be honest, the Jazz, they're always a solid team. But we're looking at a team that's second in defense, fourth on offense, and they're first in that race. You know, they have a star. They have two stars really, in Mitchell and in Gobert. But I think the big thing this year has been time. Him coming back, fitting into his role. He's dealing with some injury stuff. But if you look at him from last year to this year, uh, the chemistry he has with Gobert has been absolutely amazing, man. I mean, he's getting his shooting back under him, and also to like talk about him as a team shooter. This is a team. They're shooting almost 40% from three as a team, and you're like, oh, okay, well they're not putting a lot of threes up. No, they're second in attempt. They're putting up 42 threes a game, making 16 of them. Like this team is on fire. I guess like if there is a potential knock, is like, well, teams are going to cool off, but they're still very solid. They're very solid at getting to the bad basket. Well, some of the guys are. Defensively, can't say more. Can't say enough. You got Rudy, you got Royce O'Neal, which what I'm saying, Marcel, like if you've seen this guy play, like, he's kind of, like you just said with Trez, like he plays like he went to a HBCU. Well, he went to Baylor, but like this dude that like got it up out the mud. He did like the Euro thing for like 3 years, did the G League. I mean, like, and it's kind of like those old school coaches tell you, it's like you want to fight your way on the roster, learn how to play defense. And this is a dude that like he's 6'4" and he's listed as a small forward, but like he's played at power forward. He's guarded guys that have like six, sometimes 6 inches on them. And I mean, the dude's just a scrapper. And like, when you mix all of that in with Quinn Snyder's system, I mean, what can you say, man? It's a smart team. They're aggressive. They're shooting the hell out of the basketball right now. Conley's got it clicking, and I mean, and Mitchell, his raw numbers don't show it, but like if you see the dude in the game, like he's like, in what his like third year. I mean, the dude knows how to like take over games. I mean, he has that. He has it already, dude. Bogdanovich has been big for him coming back. They have a really cool thing where like, and of course, six man of the year so far, Jordan Clarkson. Hey, JB, and we've had some
another baby Laker we gave away.
Exactly, we've had some Jordan Clarkson discussions over the years, bro. Like, but I mean, the thing about it is that like, it's almost one of those things that like, and honestly, Shelly, like, I kind of see Utah as what Oklahoma City can be one day. And I say that because like you look at guys that's been there for a while. You look at a guy like Jordan Clarkson, who honestly like people had the worst opinion of when he got there. They were like, why in the hell are they giving this guy so many minutes? He's an empty scorer. He's a good, good stats, bad team guy. You look at a guy like George Niang. Like these are guys that will otherwise be out of the league, but they've been able to carve themselves a really good, like, it goes back to, like you said, when I was talking about the Bulls, knowing your role. All of these guys have clearly defined roles. That's it. They play assignment basketball and they play it really freaking well. And defensively, those guys are on the string. Their rotations, I mean, they're so tight, dude. Like sometimes I'm baffled like how other teams get shots off. Like they're just, I mean, they're just like they're a well-oiled machine. And like even if the 3-point shooting cools off a little bit, as long as they're healthy, dude, like I don't see this being like a first round announced team. Which I guess we have to remind everybody also. This was a team that was like a rimmed out three away from beating Denver, who eventually made it to the Western Conference Finals. So, if you haven't been watching, watch them now, JB. I mean, this is your competition, man. What you think?
Another thing I like to say about them, they've been together a couple of years now, so there's some continuity there. So they know each other, they're familiar with each other. Everybody knows their role, and they're tough. That's the one thing you can always say about a Utah team. They're going to be a tough-minded, physical, defensive team, and that's what they are. But I think healthy, we beat them. Without AD, he'd be really tough.
Yeah.
And I just want to see, like you say, if they come back down to earth, where they finish off when it's all said and done for the end of the regular season. Because right now, they looking like probably the second best team behind us in the West. I don't get the Clippers their respect because they'll always be the Clippers to me.
Yeah, it's like I had to cut the video off because there's too many people I don't like on the Clippers team. For real, I'm watching Reggie Jackson get a bucket, and like too many former Thunder players that the people I don't like. I wanted to say this earlier when we were talking about Trez. One of the best things about Trez going to LA was how played Patrick Beverly felt when he left him, and he didn't tell him. I heard his feelings was. I can't get one off when I look in the side of P. Bev. I got to. You know what I mean? But like he was really, he thought that was his boy. You know what I mean? But he dipped it and he tell him. You know what I mean? So the fact that he hurt Patrick Beverly's feelings. But I had to put that off because it was just, got Paul George with braids like little Bow Wow or something, or a fake Kawhi. I don't want to see none of that, man. Oh yes, petty black as hell. The P is for petty today. Now the Jazz is cool, man. I just think whoever was a locker room guy to get to end the beef between, Gobert and Mitchell, kind of get them back together. You know what I'm saying? Whoever give that man a raise. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever it was, like props to him.
And that's another thing. Like I said, you might not. It doesn't look like it like on his face, but I feel like the Utah organization draw a lot of parallels to OKC with just kind of like the culture, how well they're run. Like they don't get bum coaches, they don't get bum scouts. Like like you could tell like it's like a family over there. Like guys say the same thing when like with Utah. The biggest complaint like guys that leave Utah say is that the city's kind of boring. But other than that, like they love going to work every day. They love their trainers. They love their coaches. Like when you go there, like it's hard work. Because Quinn puts the boys to work. But the thing about it is that like they're seeing the fruits of the labor right now. Like like look at a guy like Derek Favors. Derek Favors came back. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, like because of the way their roster's constructed now, he's not putting up big numbers, but he's playing the role that he needs to. The thing is that not as much as being asked of him, because the last time he was there, he had to play so much with Gobert, and they didn't really figure out the offense. But now it's kind of like they play him together sometimes, but sometimes not. But he's an absolute like second unit killer, and that's the thing. Like the top 10 or the top 9 guys for Utah, they're absolute killers, dude. Like there's no easy bucket. Just about everybody knows how to make a shot. I mean, once again, this is like a supersized version of a team with guys that don't suck.
Right. So earlier we were talking about the buyout market. And I guess I got a question I want to pose today. So we saw they pretty much they benching Andre Drummond in Cleveland, and they giving the minutes to Jared Allen. You know what I'm saying? That they got from the Nets. Like I said, they benching Blake in Detroit, and they giving the minutes to Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant. And Houston just cut Boogie. So Boogie's already on the he's already a free agent, and I don't really see anybody trading for. Am I echoing?
Yeah.
Hello, mic check. Okay, that's better. Oh, it's not better. Why am I echoing? Let's take a pause for the calls real quick. All right, we try to figure out the technical technicals, but we towards the end anyways, so we're not necessarily gonna make too much of a fuss about it. But so all I have to say, I don't really see Drummond might get a trade because I don't think his contract is that big. I don't really see anybody trading for Blake like that. You know what I'm saying? And Boogie's already on the buyout market, or he's already a free agent. Is this so? All of these, the thing that they have in common is they're 6'10" centers, power forwards, right? Now I remember years Blake Drummond and Boogie. I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, when your boy Hibbert, you know what I'm saying, he went from being a MVP and wasn't a defensive player of the year in Indiana, and then by the time he got to the Lakers, he was done and he was out of the league after a couple of seasons after being an All-Star. So, and I think that really kind of like that was the end of the traditional big man. I want to say that's when they stopped having the center position in the All-Star game, right? I think it just going back to us watching Poku, who's being 7 foot playing the 3, right? Is what's happening with, and I know they're old, I know they've dealt with injuries, but not so much Andre Drummond, but Blake and Boogie for sure. What we're seeing, with Blake, Andre, and Boogie, is this the end of the 6'10" forward who's not a stretch?
Nah,
What do you? I mean, this is
so.
just a question. This is a question I'm posing.
Yeah. Well, I think there will always be some sort of role, but the thing about it, that role isn't going to be as coveted. So a guy like that isn't going to make 25, 30 mil a year. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll be more of kind of like a rotational piece. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll always need somebody that can guard the rim. And that's the thing with the three names we just talked about. None of those guys can really guard. They're not really rim protectors. You know what I'm saying? Like Blake, that's never been his game. Drummond, he'll give you a shit ton of rebounds. But like if you look at his advanced stats, you just look at him in the game, like he's good at putting himself in position to get rebounds and make plays that way. But he's not gonna stuff the ball down anybody's throat. He ain't finna throw nothing into the third row. And and Boogie. Well, Boogie's Boogie. Like Boogie's gonna give you a lot on offense. And he can give you a lot on defense, but the big knock on Boogie has always been when he kind of gets into a funk or he misses a couple of shots, he's going to be far less engaged on defense. And if you're bringing him in to play spot minutes, the potential of him kind of like snoozing on that end increases even more.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you're that era or if you're that demographic of power forward, you got to be able to defend. I mean, it makes sense because that's the reason why somebody like what's the name's gonna be around for a second. The trash man, Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's about that same size, maybe even smaller. He might be 6'8", 6'9", but he's out here getting quality minutes in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Because he's defending. He's a rim protector, and I've heard his name come up in different trade scenarios on a positive level, on like places where he can go where they would need him. You know what I'm saying? And I think like Boogie's always hurt, and then like honestly, I kind of blame Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons was a Boogie head, and then all of a sudden he got down on Boogie, and I feel like he influenced all the rest of the league to really get down on Boogie. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel bad for Andre. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he tried to show some loyalty to Cleveland. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of still handled it bad. And Blake, man, honestly, if Blake ain't dunking, then it's just not. So I remember like has he been an all-star since he's been in Detroit?
Probably not.
I'm trying to think because he did have that season where he put up like 26, 8 and 5 or something
I
like that.
remember he hit somebody for a 50 burger. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Now he was rolling for a minute, man, but the thing about it, the big thing on Blake is that at this point he's ground bound. And he's a person, like he's a player, so much of his game is always like relied on like that explosiveness and his athleticism, which like, you know, when you're a big, you know, like once you lose that explosiveness, you got all of that weight on those legs. I mean, you're pretty much done. I'm pretty damn sad about it, man. I mean, I like Blake, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like I feel like the Clippers wasted his years and they just kind of like, you know, tossed him in the trash, like once they kind of like decided to go in a different direction. I mean, you know, and this is why like, you know, the whole like players need to be loyal thing, man. I'm never on that whole deal, man. If you want to be loyal, that's cool. Like if you were if you're with a good organization, yeah. But I mean, these folks are playing, like I said, the moment that they tossed him to Detroit, I mean, I knew that was pretty much in his career, in one way or another. So, and sadly, it looks like it's coming to fruition.
And
right,
his first full year in Detroit in 2018, he averaged 25, 7 and 5. So he was still Blake the first year, but 3 years later, what is he now?
Right. He was
the rant Draymond Green went on what it was last week. He was 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
All the media, everybody wants to say players need to be professional, be loyal, do this, do that. But a team could come out and say, "Hey, we don't want Blake no more. We don't want Andre Drummond anymore. We're looking to trade him in." They expect the players to be professional.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend guys dogging it like Harden did to get out of Houston, but there has to be a fine line between what we expect from the players and what the team can actually do to the player.
Right.
Speaking of Harden, bro. Speaking of Harden,
he balling.
Yeah, I don't want the Nets to win, man. I like the Nets and the Clippers. You know, even though they got all them, they got, you know, it's because ironically the two teams I just like the least got the highest per capita former Thunder players. You know what I'm saying on it or whatever. It's just like I really don't want, because I don't want Harden to be rewarded for bad behavior. But them
Right.
dudes players ball. And look, I don't know what Swami or Yogi or what Miss Cleo Cristobal, who Kyrie wouldn't talk to. That man out there hooping. Like he took his mental health break. He shaved that beard down a little bit. And he out there getting buckets. Like I really don't enjoy watching James because James Harden is pure just like my dad used to call it was, when somebody make like a wild shot and it go in, he'd say Abraham. You know what I'm saying? Abraham. Dog. James Harden is pure Abraham. Every shot, every step back, every crossover, it's like that is a legit, like, watching them play is like 2K and you got everybody on 99. It's like now they ain't playing, they gonna outscore you, they ain't playing no defense because they let go of Torian Prince and they let go of Jared Allen. That's probably why they went and got Andre Roberson, but who knows what he could do. You know what I'm saying? He was an elite defender before he got hurt, but he hasn't had a meaningful season since 17-18. You know what I'm saying? But who knows what he could do. I really don't want the Nets to win, bro. And I really don't want them to beat Bron. You know what I'm saying? I would be so hurt that if P Bev get a ring or Harden get a ring this year, man.
Hey man, who you think could beat him in the East though?
Nobody.
Whoa. You don't think Philly got it?
Nah.
You don't think? Ooh, okay.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so, bro. Now Philly is pretty stacked at every level. They got veterans. They got of course they get their bigs is good. D Howard's playing good. Tobias Harris is playing good. Danny Green is being Danny Green. They got a good bench with Ty Buell or whatever, Shake Milton. But dog. KD, Kyrie, and Harden out there get buckets like that. Who's stopping it? Who's stopping it, bro? Who's stopping it? They gotta be super duper healthy, man. They gotta be super duper healthy. They'll beat the Bucks. I don't think that he can pull that miracle off and get to the finals again. I don't think it's close. I think the Nets will be in the finals. And if you got one dude who quit on this team, you got two other guys who they finally got their championships and they beefed out the first year they didn't win a championship all on the same team. There's so much bad behavior. It just I don't want to see them win, but
I mean, we fall victim to recency bias, but let's remember, man, Kyrie kind of acted a fool on his way out too. The boss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like I said, so
the court.
Kyrie acted a fool with Bron and left Cleveland. He went to Boston and was a crybaby in Boston. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that team win, man. I don't want to see that team win, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We might be just a little bit over our hour thing, so I think we want to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Anything y'all want to say before we slide, man?
Man, hey, once again, Sally, glad to have you back, man. Just looking forward to getting back in the groove or whatever next week. We'll definitely be talking All-Star because all the rosters will be revealed by then. So we'll have a whole bunch of crazy to say about that, along with our thoughts on the fact that there's an All-Star game to begin with, which, I mean, y'all can probably imagine how we feel about it. But yeah, man, look, thank you guys for kind of working with us throughout the hiatus. And, we're back and, man, we're going to, I mean, look, as they say, man, we're deep in it now. I mean, so a lot of content coming up, and man, it's been a hell of a year, man. We're watching a lot of good ball right now, man. I can't wait to see how it all folds out, dude. So that's all I got, man.
Yes, indeed. So look, YouTube Basketball and BS 1, or it's Basketball BS exclamation mark. Instagram, Twitter, Basketball and BS exclamation mark. You can also find us on blurters.com, find us on Spotify as well, via Anchor. Y'all check us out. Y'all like and subscribe. Y'all share it. Big shout out to everybody in the Basketball and BS Facebook group. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like we have one of the best basketball groups, Facebook groups on the entire Facebook. My name is Marcel People Like the Rant Guy. We got JB and HB. Cooper's out there in the ether somewhere, as well as BMI. But we will see you next week. A la Mahabe, freedom.